Hey world, it's Ben. Want to come back with another video. I want to come back with this video because, like I said, this is the holiday time of year, and it's so crazy. First of all, guys, thanks for checking me out today, joining me in the garden. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, if you look at my numbers, we already know what it is. You dig? That's why I have been sitting back and relaxing and coming back every now and then because I have so many of my family members not getting notifications, being unsubscribed, which I think that's ridiculous. I just want to come back with this real quick, family, just some food for thought and just kind of put things in perspective because, see, a lot of times if you don't understand the particular political, economic climate that you're living in, you will think that you're living in a political, economic climate, right? But that's not the case. You're living in a society that was colonized back in the day. And there's a group of people, of course, that are oppressed. Now, are there individual opportunities for everyone out there that gets the knowledge? Yes. Like, for instance, paying yourself first can put you in a different financial bracket than if you were just like millions and millions of people this past week just spending all their money on Christmas gifts. Right now they say that the average U.S. citizen put themselves $1,500 in debt. Now remember, the average U.S. citizen can't afford a $1,000 emergency. So you add an additional $1,500 to that because all the spending, it's unbelievable. And so you have bills you have to pay, just like anybody, any corporation has to pay bills, countries have to pay bills, states have to pay bills. But when those states and countries or individuals can't pay their bills, they have to do something. And one of the options that's an international Ponzi scheme is what they call bankruptcy. The United States was bankrupt back in 1871, and then again in 1971 under Richard Nixon. Now, as U.S. citizens, you got to ask yourself, what exactly is bankruptcy? Well, if you go bankrupt,
the speed limit is 65 miles per hour.
That means you can't pay your bills, right? And so what happens? The court sent a letter to all your creditors telling you that you are insolvent, that you are bankrupt, and that when you do get money, you will consolidate a particular bill to go out to everybody that you owe, if you have it, right? But all your debts are pretty much forgiven after a certain period of time. And I don't know how it applies to countries going bankrupt, because I know in the United States after 7 years, they have some what they call retribution. But if the United States is bankrupt, and they still bankrupt because they quick to tell you that there are, $28 trillion in debt. If you $28 trillion in debt, who you owe money to?
65 miles per hour.
This is going to be a quick financial education video. It's called bonds, family. Okay? And what's a bond? A bond is is a loan security that states, cities, municipalities, towns, countries offer people that are willing to do what? Give them their money and they'll pay them back. That's a bond. And the U.S. Treasury, earlier started offering all these bonds to people so they can get the money, right? And if you get the money of different countries, that means you actually have wealth, but it's called debted wealth because you owe the money back with interest. It's the same thing that's going on right now in America. Right now in America, just the interest alone, they owe like $352 billion a year, and it's actually going up every year. So just imagine this. Last week, they gave Ukraine $45 billion of taxpayers' money, right, to help Ukraine. But you owe $27 trillion to creditors. And you got to ask yourself, well, Bean, who are the creditors? Japan, China, Indonesia, many countries, Germany, England. Why do you think that we don't have manufacturing corporations in the United States? Because they have to sell them. They sold out. That's why everything that happens to America is always imported. We don't have anything that we can export out to make money. Everything is imported because we are basically the slaves of this particular bankruptcy. Like if you own a company and your company goes bankrupt, then the people that works for you are going to have to make a decision. Either they can continue to work for you with no money, right? Or they're going to go somewhere else. Well, unfortunately for U.S. citizens, you can't go anywhere else because you are U.S. citizens and you have a Social Security number, which requires you to work, pay taxes.
The speed limit is 65
until you're
miles
like
per hour.
65, 70 years old. Have you ever wondered why, they never built up infrastructure in America? Remember, we have some major water infrastructure problems. In Mississippi, when Jackson, Mississippi had the water situation, Michigan, Houston, we just had a water situation. And yes, the bridges, the roads, yes, so why aren't they investing in the country? Because they can't, because it's bankrupt. So when you're going out spending all your money on, stuff that are being basically imported over here, because remember, we don't make anything here. We're just basically paying bills. And so in actuality, we shouldn't have to pay any bills whatsoever because this is a bankrupt nation. You dig? If you don't believe me, look it up, family. The United States has been bankrupt twice. That's why they went off the gold standard. That's why they just print money. But see, there are two financial entities working in the United States. You have the U.S. Treasury, which, of course, that's where all our money go in taxes. Then you have the Federal Reserve, which is a central bank, which is here to kind of, equal things out when the supply and demand chain is messed up. So they just print out extra money. The money has no value. We give it value. And so what's really working against us is the fact that you have 538 people called congressmen and senators that have no intention whatsoever to improve the lives of average Americans. Forget that. If you don't believe me, go in and find out how much money Mitch McConnell and Obama and Trump and just average politicians. You dig? Sheila Jackson Lee, look at their net worth. They go in making only $160,000 a year because remember, they're supposed to be public servants. Like myself, I'm a teacher. Teachers, firefighters, police officers, people who hold office, politicians, all supposed to be what? Public servants. Well, how is it that politicians are millionaires and we not? You dig? Because it's all a scam.
The speed limit is 65 miles per hour.
And you keep hearing that recording about me driving fast. I'm trying to get to the golf range. We had a freeze down here in Texas for the last week or so. This is the first day we've ever had a little break, so I'm going to go out here and play some golf. But I digress. Family, look it up. You know what I mean? That's why I say pay yourself first, because your energy is basically what's keeping you alive. Not your money, your energy. Because they tell you the money can go up and down. I mean, think about it. This time last year, a dollar was a little bit more. Now, the dollar basically probably worth 50 cents. No, about 20 cents. Okay? Because when you're paying, $1.80 for something that you just paid 98 cents for last year, look at that. That tells you how much the value of money has dropped. Not money, but the currency, the fake money, paper money. Okay? Well, family, in the meantime, between time, I hope Most High Saudi bring you joy. Just want to come back and give you a little financial literacy. And make sure you pay yourself first. And being what is out of 5,000.